Hey guys, before this video starts, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Angelo Morris. His dad says he enjoys watching these HeroQuest videos, and we enjoy making them, Angelo. Keep on watching them. Also, if you guys are looking for a group dedicated to HeroQuest, check out HeroQuest Fanatic on Facebook. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. We wanted to pick up with Quest 3 for this video, Lair of the Orc Warlord. And we're going to jump right back into it with our 4 heroes, Thorna, Oben, Thargus, and Thimbletat the Halfling. Alright, so the letter from our mentor. It says, Prince Magnus has ordered the Orc warlord Ulag, who was responsible for the imprisonment of Sir Ragnar, be sought out and destroyed. When Ulag is destroyed, the heroes will receive a reward of 180 gold coins to be divided among them. Any treasures found in Ulag's stronghold may be kept by the finder alone. So with that, we're going to get to dungeon delving. Alright, we're going to try to keep the same order we had last time, and that was our paladin going first, followed by the barbarian, wizard, and lastly the thief. Okay, so as the adventurers enter the lair of the Orc warlord, Thorna steps to the front, taking lead. She signals to the party that she's going to open the door. She rolls a 8 for me. I want to apologize now for the shadows you guys will get from me moving things. Hopefully I'll be able to do something about that in future videos. Okay, so let's see. 1. She sees as Thorna enters, opens the door. She sees a table with several goblins standing around it, preparing for their supper. She quickly rushes through the door and begins the battle with the first goblin she comes into contact with. She rolls 1 hit, and our goblin tries to defend. But unfortunately, only armed with a spoon at the moment, he is unable to block the powerful thrust from Thorna. And he dies over his plate of gruel. With that, the rest of the party begins to file in. Thargus, moving quickly behind his sister, rolls a 7. And he positions himself at the far end of the room, across from his sister, to take the next body down. Thargus, still somewhat recovering from his wounds from their previous quest, He isn't off to a great start, but it still is enough to dispatch yet another goblin. With that, the wizard feels that it is clear for him to make his way into the room. He rolls a 4. But with Thorna standing directly in front of the door, he isn't quite able to make it through the door without what he would fear would get her off balance, while she is deadlocked on the goblin. Thimbletack, who's eager to jump into battle, also rolls a 7. Positioning himself next to Thorna, wishing only he had been able to maneuver himself just slightly better to where he could engage the goblin, who still has food in his mouth. Let's see. Right. With that, we are to monsters. The goblin spits the remaining bits of food from his mouth and uses a dull knife he'd used to carve his meat. Is now a weapon that he must defend his life with. Rolling 1 hit. He lunges forward towards Thorna. But she's prepared for him and quickly rolls the shield, bringing her shield up to deflect his attack. Further back in the room, the goblin who appears to have been the cook with a much larger blade runs forward to face Vargas. This cook is somewhat skilled with a blade, no doubt from years of preparing meals for his goblin war tribe. Vargas, unable to fully be prepared for his attack, suffers a slight wound. But it is not enough to bring him to the ground. Thorna, preparing for her next maneuver, is unable to make contact with the goblin, as her position between the door and Thimbletack just hinders her slightly. She bares her teeth in disappointment, knowing that she wants to dispatch him quickly. Back to Vargas, still facing the goblin cook. potentially making contact with him. Yet, once again, the Goblin Cook deflects an attack from Thargus. Our heroes not off to a great start. They're clearly not fully recovered from their previous battles. I also forgot to put a door down. Put that down. As our heroes continue the melee, they know they must work quick, because whatever's beyond the following door could be entering the room at any moment. Odin once again tries to enter the room. He positions himself between Thimbletak and Thargus to aid him in whatever way he can. Knowing he'd prefer to hold on to his spells, he can't sit idly by and watch his companions waste time with two inferior goblins. Then Odin casts Ball of Flame. The goblin facing Thargus is engulfed in flames, and he falls to the ground, never to prepare a meal for his tribe again. And let's see. Yep. Thimbletak with a swift movement makes it around the table and behind the last goblin in the room. Preparing his attack. He thrust his faithful dagger in the back of the goblin. The goblin hollers in pain. Thimbletak then continues to press the dagger deeper into the spine of the goblin. The goblin falls to the ground, never finishing his meal. All right. Now that our heroes have dispatched of all the enemies in this room, it is time for them to move on. Thorna, again, saying she'll take the lead. Moves towards the door and kicks it open. The room is only protected by a single enemy. And she wonders what else could be in the room. Actually, that's not in. Immediately bringing her weapon up, as she does have the element of surprise on her side. This creature obviously had not made it to the door in time, or was not even aware of the battle happening in the room. Thorna prepares to swing her mighty axe with a perfect aim hit, she deals the monster creature a blow that sends him back into the room, but it's not enough to defeat the creature. The rest of the party then moves up to get into position to aid Thorna. Now with everyone in position, preparing to back her up, it's time for them to push in. But before they do, the foul creature is able to get an attack off against Thorna. But it's a feeble attack. Be it the door or the companions following behind Thorna, this creature isn't able to connect. But Thorna won't make that same mistake. A strong blow from Thorna comes in, dealing just enough damage to bring the creature to the ground. The group, now picking up momentum, can move into the room to find out what items they may be able to find. Thargus, eager to move on, he stands in front of the doorway. With the rest of the party telling him to not be so hasty. He has something to prove. From his last showing, he feels that the party may not have much confidence in him. Steps out into the first corridor, seeing not much in sight but another door. He knows there are more creatures in this labyrinth somewhere, and he aims to destroy them all. Okay. Thorna again yells out for her brother, telling him to slow down and wait for the rest of the group to catch up. Oben rushes ahead of Thargus to hold his movement. Thargus finally calming down. He allows Thimbletak and his sister the opportunity to catch up with them. Thorna enters the room that she slayed the foul creature with the head of a snake. She stops to look for any thing of use, but as she is looking through the rags and other belongings of the creatures, a hefty opponent creeps in behind her. With no one behind her to warn her, the creature then lifts his weapon to make a stealth attack against Thorna. Thorna blindsided. She stumbles to the ground. Thorna, not able to maneuver quick enough, takes a flesh wound. Not enough to get her rattled, but enough to make her upset. Want to get much needed or wanted revenge against this creature. Thargus, hearing his sister in need of his aid, spins around, enters the room, and positions himself adjacent to the creature. The creature was ready for Thargus. Thargus is unable to make contact with the creature. He feels that he is letting his sister down by continuing to fumble these attacks. Ogun, now knowing that he may have to use another spell, moves back toward the door and into the doorway. Spin this around so we can put him here. He then uses Fire of Wrath to dispatch the creature. Yet another spell exhausted. At this pace, the group may be out of magical aid when they really need it. But they must push on and find Ulag before any other minions of his are able to come to the lair and outnumber our heroes. Thimbletak decides to push forward to the next room to see if he can find some treasures or more opponents to face. And what luck, he surely does. Two orcs preparing themselves for battle. He sees them grabbing their shields and their swords. He starts to wonder if him pushing forward was a good idea, but he must live with his decision and he must battle. He pushes into the room. He makes his first attack. Not the strongest of attacks, but with a simple dagger, you can't hope for too much against an orc who is armed with a shield and sword. But, as always, Thimbletak finds some way to inflict damage, some way to beat his opponent's defenses. And he deals with one of the orcs. Seeing this, and in surprise, the orc left in the room now moves forward to position himself to attack Thimbletak. With a strong blow, Thimbletak receives a gut-wrenching blow from the orc, sending him to the ground, sending him to one knee. He hollers in pain, and his party hears that, and they quickly jump into action. Thorna wanting to be the first to aid the young halfling. She moves past Oben. And with just enough time and pace in her stride, she positions her, she makes it through the door, past Thimbletak, and positions herself across from the orc. She swings, and the orc, unable to defend against two attackers, falls in combat. Thimbletak looks up to Thorna and gives her a smile as a gesture of gratitude. He pulls a coin from his pocket and tosses it over to her. She catches it and tells him, "Keep your gold. You owe me a drink once we get back to town." Now in this room that I also forgot to put a door in. Maybe for good reason. You wouldn't even would have blocked the view, but now the rest of the party catches up. This time, Oben decides he shall be the one to open the following door. As he opens the door, our heroes are confronted with two simple goblins. Oben stands at the door, ready, but Thimbletak reminds him that there are bigger fish in the sea, and it would be best for him to hold the rest of his spells until they make it to Ulag. That Thimbletak pushes past Oben the wizard faces yet another goblin that he is so eager to fight. With a strong attack, Thimbletack cuts down another foe. Thimbletack is on the top of his game today. But now it's time for the goblin to make his attack in revenge. He moves toward Thimbletack. Draws his blade. Thimbletack preparing to defend, and he does so. He blocks the attack of the goblin. With that, Thorna can now come in and aid Thimbletack. She makes a soft attack against the enemy, but he is unable to defend. The party feels that things are just getting easier and easier the further they make it into the lair. Vargas, feeling like he's missing all of the action. He decides to run in front of everyone. Does a quick search, but as he searches on his way to the door, yet another enemy who must have been hiding in the room springs out from his hiding place and attacks without warning. But yet the attack is too feeble to hurt Obin in any sort of way, or not Obin, excuse me, Thargus in any sort of way. Obin pushes into the room, but keeps his distance from the orc, as he prefers not to be in melee combat, and casts his spells from a distance, a safe distance. Thimbletack, being in a perfect position, decides to prove his worth once again. Does so with the defense of the orc not being strong enough to block the poking attack of Thimbletack. Lorna tells her brother that he is not on top of his game today. She says, I shall take this next room. With a very powerful movement, 12. She breaks through the door. As she enters the room, she is faced with a large party. creatures who look like as if they are ready and have been waiting for this fight. Clearly, these are the bodyguards of Ulag. This may have been the first bad call by Thorna. The room is guarded with maybe the strongest foes yet, and a large number of them as well. But Thorna, being of true silver axe blood, won't let them shake her heart. She will continue to fight and cut down as many foes as possible while her heart beats. In front of her, she blasts attack and attack. And that does kill him right away. The creature with the head of the snake is unable to answer the attack of Thorna. Her companions then file in behind her. First being her brother, with the showing his best attack yet. And he cuts the head of the orc clean off. The orc's lifeless and headless body slumps to the side. Then Ogun enters the room. He positions himself at a safe distance to the rear of the room. He then will cast courage upon Thargus. Single attack, being the last to enter the room. Comes in as stealth as any thief would, and manages to sneak up beside one of the orcs, but not able to get an attack off in fear of giving away his position. Now, it is the orc's turn to deal damage to the heroes. The orc nearest the door moves in towards Thorna. And gives her what could possibly be a mighty blow. She does what she can in this tight position and manages to block some of the attack, but still it's enough to push her into the following orc, who in turn makes an attack against her. Thorna again tries her best to deflect the attack, but because of the previous blow, she is unable to get any sort of defense up against the orc, and she is once again wounded. Thorna, now extremely weak with 2 body points, takes a knee. Her brother Thargus, with the spell of courage emanating around him, moves forward and attacks the first orc. And actually he needs to throw 2 extra dice, so he's got 1 hit. And managing to make an extremely strong attack. The orc is cleaved in his side, and Thargus pulls his axe from him and kicks his dead body away and into the corner. Our wizard, not wanting to take part in the melee and also wanting to conserve his spells, stands at the rear of the room, encouraging his group to continue to fight strong and hard. Thimbletack, still in hiding beside the orc, finally makes his move. And a good move at that. It is just enough damage dealt to the orc to bring him to the ground. Another room cleared. The group knows that this lair isn't much bigger, or can't be much bigger. So they take a moment, as this last battle was more than they anticipated. Thimbletack, being the thief that he is, searches through the remains of the fallen monsters. He finds 25 gold coins. Not a bad haul for the day. Thorna, not wanting to lead the charge into the next room, decides to only position herself next to the door. She shall allow her brother the chance to enter the room. And hopefully this room will contain Ulag so they can put him out of his misery. As the barbarian turns towards the door, slowly opens it. Unlike his typical rampaging personality, he likes to see what exactly is behind this door before it sees him. He peers through the door to see what can only be Ulag, along with several guards sitting at a table, no doubt, planning their next raid. He notices there is a man in the room with a heavy mace and armored. He may be a formidable opponent, but we shall see. Standing on each side of the door, 2 goblins that will not pose much of a challenge. Thargus more concerned with the man in the room. He gives the signal to this group to be prepared. Owen positions himself closer to the door to also get a look at what may be a mighty challenge. He thinks about what he can do next. Wishing he would have saved the spell of courage for this very moment. As he can see its enchantment fading away from Thargus, thinks about what other spell could possibly come in handy for this moment. Then he remembers his genie. He slips the lamp closer to the door and summons the genie to enter the room. And attack one of its inhabitants. The genie, obeying Odin's every wish, targets Ulag. But not able to do much of a threat to, or be much of a threat to Ulag. Ulag has a defense of 5. Oh, let's go off. This one back. Ulag defending the attack from the genie. Now giving the hero's position away. The enemy is now aware of their presence. Our heroes may be in for a battle they weren't anticipating. With that, Thimbletack decides he will rush into the room. And dispatch one of the goblin guards stationed next to the door. And he does so. And with that, the goblin guard falls to the ground. Ulag and the man in black, now fully aware of what they will be dealing with, they see the halfling and laugh with cruel pleasure, knowing that they will tear his body limb from limb. The man in black moves toward Thimbletack. His mighty mace. And a strong blow that sends Thimbletack flying back into the wall. Thimbletack down to do 2 body points. Leans against the wall, hoping his companions will rush into the room and aid him quickly, as he does not know if he can take another attack from his opponent. But it's not over yet. Ulag, the second guard, still have the opportunity to block the other heroes from coming into the room to aid Thimbletack. The goblin springs in front of the door. And makes an attack against Thargus. Thargus, prepared for this battle, blocks the meager attack from the goblin. But Ulag, the other creature left in the room, cruel and twisted, moves toward Thimbletack. Actually, I guess he moves toward Thimbletack and raises his rusty blade. A precise attack from Ulag to end Thimbletack's life right now. Thimbletack, unprepared for this, is only able to put up a defense that isn't enough to disengage Ulag. Ulag blow cuts straight through the defense of Thimbletack and pierces his chest. Thimbletack falls to the ground, hollering in pain. The rest of the group, hearing this, eyes begin to well with water, with tears, knowing that howl means only one thing, that their friend is no longer with them. Lorna, weak as she is, does not care. She tells her brother to get into the room, as she cannot move past the goblin. As Thargus lifts his axe in anger and brings it down towards the goblin. Bringing the axe straight down to the goblin's head, nearly cutting him in two. The goblin is now out of the way of the entryway into the room. Oben scrambles for a strong spell that can aid his companions. He thinks what would work best. And he knows to prolong a life is better than buffing an attack with someone's strength. He heals body on Tharna, bringing her back to her full health. And with that's all he can do for now. But with that, Tharna can put herself in position to get into the room. But unfortunately, puts herself in a position that is not best for the rest of the group. But her eyes filled with rage, she makes an attack against Ulag. Ulag, being a skilled opponent, is able to do just enough to block Thorna. Her brother, wanting to enter the room, positions himself behind the man in black. Rolls a decent attack. The man in black takes the full brunt of the damage from Ulag's attack. Blood from the man in black spills on the floor, and he is severely weakened. Odin then brings himself into the room. We'll see if we can get her on here. Okay. Golden, preparing himself to cast what's left of his spells, as there's not much left. He'll cast Rock Skin on Thargus. And that part is once again time for Ulag to begin his attack. He points his sword back at Thorna. This time with a weaker attack. Thorna is able to defend it easily. The man in black raises his mace and brings it down towards Thargus's head. Doing what could be significant damage. Thargus receiving that blow, bringing him down to 5 body points. The heroes must work quick to dispatch these villains, as their attacks are strong and doing much damage to them. Thorna preparing to retaliate against Ulag's attacks. able to withstand some of the attack. Let's see. Our barbarian once again aims an attack at the man in black. It's a strong swing. The man in black falls to the ground, his head hanging on by a few strands of flesh. By a few strands of flesh. Ulag sees that he is all alone now, but unwilling to surrender, he continues. Let's see. Oben wanting to bring this to an end. Cast Tempest on Ulag. Ulag, feeling a majestic force come around him, he is unable to move. Knowing this would be an opportune time for him to attack, but unable to bring his limbs to do anything at the moment. Tharna knows that she must take full advantage of this time. She does. Ulag is dead. She chops Ulag into the side of his face. Ulag falls back to the ground and onto the body of Thimbletak, their fallen companion. With this, they will wrap up Ulag's head and return it to the king for their reward, a bitter reward, as they too must take back the body of their fallen comrade, the halfling thief, Thimbletak. Rest in peace. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the quest. Unfortunately, we lost Thimbletak. We'll figure out something for the next quest. Please remember to like the video and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. Let me know what else I can do. If you have any ideas for a custom character, leave that in the comments and I'll pick one and we will have a new member of our party. Make sure you guys leave a race and a description or a link to where I can find the character card, and I'll go track it down and get a miniature for it. Other than that, this is real fun. I'll pick up with the next quest, which is Quest 4, Prince Magnus's Gold. And I look forward to doing that one. And hopefully I can get it up within a week. I will be traveling to California at the end of the week, so I need to get Quest 4 done before I leave. All right, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you on the next HeroQuest.